Praise God, brothers and sisters. Today we are going to see the book of Daniel. We're going to start in chapter 1. We understand that Daniel was a prophet and he spoke of the days to come. He spoke the days of Jesus. He spoke during the days of the later of this earth. And therefore we are going to study and going to see the story behind his life. And remember that this particular time is when the land of Israel is going to captivity. But here is Daniel, and you are going to see more about it. So, in chapter 1, the word of God says, "In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord gave Joachim, king of Judah, into his hand, which part of the vessel of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into the treasure of his God." So this Israel is going into captivity because, as we will see in the prophets, they warned Israel over and over and over, but they did not listen. So when they went and worshipped other gods, it became a provocation unto God, and therefore sometimes as a punishment of their works, they were led by their own deeds. They were led into captivity. They worshipped other gods. And the king spoke unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seeds, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom. And now we see the kind of children the king wants: no blemish, well favored, skillful in all wisdom, cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such an ability in them to stand in the king's palace, to whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans is another name for the Babylon. And the king appointed them as a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourished them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave Daniel the name of Belshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah of Abednego. Now we see the names of Daniel and his companions being changed, because he was called Belshazzar. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he will not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Pertaining this time, they were still governed by the rule and the laws of Moses, and therefore it was important for them not to eat just anything and not to just drink anything, and they did not want to defile themselves because they respected the laws of God more. And that's why you see that even in their captivity, they did not fear the king's word. They feared the King of the kings. They feared the ways of the Lord, and therefore it was important unto them that they have a meal that is right with them. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. Now we see God is with Daniel. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, whom might appointed your meat and your drink. Why should he see your face worse liking than the children which are out of your sword? Then shall make me endanger my head to the king. Then Daniel said to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hannah, Mishael, and Azariah, Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us parts to eat and water to drink. This is simply vegetables. Then let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat their portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. Now Daniel requested that give us vegetables and water. Only that will be okay for us. So therefore, after that, you can compare our physical appearance with those that eat meat, and from there you can you can give a judgment. If it's not right, you can continue eating meat. If it's okay, as you will judge. So he consented to them in this manner and proved them 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and wine that they should not drink, and gave them pearls. As for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge. See, first of all, you have to understand knowledge comes from where? It's not from one understanding. God gave them knowledge, God gave me more knowledge and skill, and in all learning and wisdom, and in Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Wow, it's a great man. I also ask God for such great skills. I want that too. Oh, God is faithful. We serve the same God. So now at the end of the days that the king had said he should bring them in the presence of the eunuchs, he brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. And the king communed with them. Among them also found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. Therefore he stood before the king. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and the astrologers that were all in his realm. And Daniel continued even to the first year of King Cyrus. Now we understand the introduction of Daniel. We understand that they were being carried from Judah, and you see the kind of choices he made. They did not want to defile themselves with foreign food. They wanted to state and continue in the ways of the laws, and therefore it favored God. It made God happy. He favored them, gave them wisdom, gave them understanding, visions and dreams. All that God had impacted on Daniel, and therefore these are just the beginning. And we see that in the beginning of man, if he has God, God is going to be with him. And therefore at this particular time, at the end of chapter 1, you see that he has more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding than magicians, astrologers. And those people were cunning. You can see, remember that during the times of Pharaoh, magicians, they were up there trying to compete with the power of God. But this knowledge that God giveth is just good, just nice and great. So we will continue later. We're going to see what really happened. But what you understand from this, that you have to go beyond. If you love God, his laws must be with you in good times and in bad times, in situations where you feel like you are threatened. But when you do that and obey God, God is going to favor you. Shalom and shalom.